there, my Battlefield friends and fans! Welcome back to some Battlefield 4. I've actually played mostly Getaway since that DLC came out in Hardline, but I have gone back to Battlefield 4 for a couple of days because today we get the new DLC, but I get into that a little bit later. First, I wanted to talk about the UMP9 here, which I've been using a lot in Battlefield 4. Believe it or not, I don't even know if I mentioned that in another video before. It took me a really long time to unlock this UMP9 because you needed so many repairs and some other requirements were you needed to just unlock this weapon. And I didn't even know if the UMP9 is any good or not, but I have to say it was worth the hard work to unlock this weapon. Even though this is a PDW, this is a really great weapon. It's decent, the fire rate is decent, but the damage is pretty good on it, and you can even actually, if you manage to take headshots, take out people from a very far distance with like one bullet. I mean, I was just surprised. It's a really fun little weapon to use, and I really like to play the engineer or the mechanic, or I forgot what it's called in Battlefield 4. Since I play Battlefield Hardline and Battlefield 4, I a lot of times confuse the two games. But I have to say, even in Hardline, when I got the UMP9, I loved it. The UMP9 is just a really good, well-round weapon. You know, you can use it for close range. I mean, you can use it on smaller maps, you can use it on bigger maps. It just does really well. Of course, it's not like one of the best weapons, but you know, if you just want a fun weapon and you know, tired of your same old weapon, I say you should give this a try if you have unlocked it. But, you know, this brings me to, I watched a video the other day of a very well-known guy on YouTube, and he was kind of mentioning something that was on my mind for a long time, and that is that there are way too many weapons in Battlefield 4 now. There are so many weapons. I mean, most of them you never even touch or try out. They're just too much. Most people actually find a weapon that they like, and then they usually stick with it. This one weapon, maybe two weapons depending on the map, and they stick with the same 2-3 weapons the whole time they play Battlefield 4, and all the other weapons they don't even ever touch. So why do we need 150 weapons? I don't even know how many there are. I should actually count them at one point, but you know, when you go through the list of weapons, it's just overwhelming. And then you know, in order to actually find out which weapon you know, does how it does, and you know, which weapon is better than the other, you have to literally wait until you get all the attachments, because you can't really, like, you know, put like a good review on a weapon unless you have all the attachments, because it really changes. Some weapons are so different when they have the attachments than without it. So it takes a really long time, and a lot of people just don't want that. If they're happy with 2-3 weapons in Battlefield 4, they're like, why fix something that's not broken, right? So that's the one thing. And then the other thing that I'm still, you know, frustrated about a lot is there are also way too many vehicles. It's like so frustrating. You know, if you are a person who likes to like just, you know, play infantry, it's so hard if the other team is constantly running vehicles. And I feel like vehicles just don't take any skill. And there was another guy on YouTube the other day. He was complaining that the jets are not very like useful, or the helicopters are not useful, and the tanks are like overpowering. And it's not true. I'm being taken out by choppers all the time, and even by planes. You know, they just drop bombs and stuff, and you know, you're down, and you can't even like outrun them, because you know, if they drop it on your building, you're basically dead. So there are way too many vehicles. I feel like in Hardline the balance between infantry and vehicle is much better, and there's so many, you know, haters on Battlefield. They say there are no vehicles, which is nonsense, or there are not enough vehicles, which is total nonsense. Because the thing is, you know, if you are a vehicle whore and you're not very good at playing infantry, of course you're gonna hate a game that doesn't have a ton of vehicles, because you don't always get a vehicle, and then you're doomed. You have to run around with your weapon. Oh, God forbid, you have to run around. You have to be on foot, and you don't have a vehicle. That's basically where the hate comes in with Battlefield Hardline. That's really all it is. People want to sit in their overpowered tanks and just sit there all match long and get maybe like a 22-0 or whatnot. So anyway, that's my rant about it. Too many weapons, too many vehicles. But what about Battlefield 5, if that's even the name? So far, you know, I haven't heard nothing but Battlefield 5, so I assume that's going to be the title of the new Battlefield. So the recent rumor is that, and I really hope it's a rumor and it's not the truth, that Battlefield 5 is going to play in World War One. World War One. Everyone I've heard that even wanted something older or go back to something said World War Two, but World War One? Come on. In World War One, you will be stuck with like 1 or 2 weapons, maybe, if you're lucky. So I don't think people are gonna like it. All those people that constantly complain that there are not enough, you know, guns. And what about vehicles? You won't have a lot of vehicles in World War One. I don't even know if they had any vehicles in World War One. Yeah, I think they had like some planes, some double-decker planes or something. You know, I don't know. I mean, if that's going to be the case, I don't think people are going to be super happy. Unless the rumor is partially true and it will just be like one map, or will be a DLC, maybe a World War One space DLC, which could be fun. But I still feel that the main game should not be future or past. It should be something in the present. It just maybe be in a different setting, maybe a different country, maybe, I don't know. And I know it must be hard for, you know, the people that actually write the story of the new game to come up with new ideas, because, you know, it seems like everything has already been done. And so I wouldn't blame them if they would do World War One, because this has never been done before. But I just can't imagine that the fans will be very, very happy with playing World War One with very, very limited weapons and very limited vehicles. And you know, there's not really much that you can do in case of variety. But we shall wait and see. But, you know, personally, I wouldn't be very happy about it. But then again, you know, the Battlefield series is so amazing, and I've never been disappointed with any Battlefield game thus far. So I can just imagine, even if they did something like this, it's gonna be awesome in some way or the other. And sometimes it's hard to imagine how something could be, and then when you see it, you're like, wow, I never thought of that. This is actually pretty cool. So yeah, all we can do is wait and see until they come out with something that they can actually show us. I'm very, very, very curious. But enough of the Battlefield 4 and the ARMS 9. I wanted to also talk about today's release of the latest Hardline DLC called Betrayal. And I'm very stoked about this DLC. I cannot wait to play it. I was stoked about every single DLC of Hardline because I felt every single DLC brought something completely new and completely different. And so it never really got boring, and you know, you could play that DLC until the next one came out, and that's basically what I did. And I do that actually with all DLCs. Even in Battlefield 4, when a new DLC came out, I played nothing but that DLC until the next one came out, and I actually did not play the old maps until I was really tired of all DLCs and no more new DLCs came out, and then I went back to the old maps, like this one, for example, or the original maps, as you can say that. But what I'm really, 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 really excited about in the Betrayal DLC is the Alcatraz map, because I've lived in the Bay Area for like 15 years, and I was on Alcatraz twice. I even met an ex-prisoner there, and I read his book, and I was really, really always interested in Alcatraz and know a lot about Alcatraz. I know the island, I know the prison really well. So I cannot wait to see how accurate they actually duplicated the whole island and the prison. But I assume since Visceral is based in San Francisco, they know exactly what the island and the prison looks like, and they try to make it pretty accurate. We'll see. You will see videos of that very soon on my channel here. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.